Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on this channel, and today we are covering the 7th round of the STSR BTCC 1993 Championship, and today we're here in Knockhill in Scotland eventually, and we have a quick look into the track map, and as you can see it's a short circuit, but it's a difficult one, because there are many parts of the circuit which are tricky, eventually corner 1, corner 2 eventually, because it goes downhill, and then we have the chicane in corner 5 and corner 6, where you really have to be careful whilst entering the chicane, because you can easily lose the car at the exit, and yeah, you have to be careful whilst driving the circuit eventually. And also the final hairpin eventually is really usable for dive bombs eventually, so if you are the car who has to defend the position, you have to be careful with this one. But now we look into the starting grid, and we see Lorenzo Turri again on pole position, and have Mike Bell in the Nissan. Then we have Renault row 2 with Johannes Medes, who returns to the championship, and Michael Sneef in the Renault 19s. Very good qualifying by the Renaults then again. And there we see David Osborne and Jazz Hayward. Little correction, he's now Jazz Everett. But we go to it in a more detailed fashion in the race. So Nissan row 3 ahead of Chris Simpson and Pekka Litalo in row number 4. And rounding off the grid is Matt Hole in the Vauxhall Cavalier. And now it's time to start race number 1. And the lights are out and away we go. It looks like Turri has the best start here. He had a fantastic getaway. Mike hasn't got the best start. Johannes is alongside. We now got into the first corner, but Johannes backs down. Sneef was a bit off-road, it looked like it. Maybe a bit wide, but he kept it going. So everything looks clean here, as I wanted to say. So fantastic start here by everyone. And now we look into the onboard footage from Chris Simpson. And he had a fantastic getaway. He eventually passed Everett. He passed Osborne. Or does he? No, he doesn't. Or looks close, but side by side they go into the third corner. Oh, they're still side by side, but now Simpson has to yield, and he loses the position to Jazz eventually. Oh, there's some little bumping there. And Simpson had a fantastic getaway. Just couldn't do anything with it. And now we look into Pekka's view, the sole independent driver this year, and now we see him being alongside Jazz. We're going into the first corner. Ooh, Pekka looks like to gain the position, but in the end we know he doesn't. But we have to be fair to Pekka. This circuit really isn't something for rear-wheel drive cars, as we've seen in the past. Especially in 1991, where everyone has struggled with the rear-wheel drive BMW. Now we see David Osborne chasing Michael Sneef. And Michael, who's now finally not the only one on the grid, as Johannes returned from his illness in the race before in Pembrey. And yeah, now we have both runners back. It's glad to see them again. Le Banana Squad, as we'd like to call them. And now we see Medes being close behind Mike Bell eventually, so good pace by him. And now we look into Mike Bell's... Yeah, we look into Mike Bell. We made a little mistake there. We now approach corner number 7. And this is a tricky part here. This is what I mentioned at the beginning. And if you make a mistake, then in corner number 6, you can easily lose the position if you don't be careful enough. Oh, there we see David going out wide. There we see Simpson eventually passing him. So David made a huge mistake there. Yeah, this is easy to do here in this circuit. Oh, now we see Chris. Whoa, that was close there, but solid defending here. And now we see Pekka Litalo, the sole BMW. Yeah, he has no chance in this weekend. The circuit is just dreadful for a rear-wheel drive car, and even with the BMW 318 IS, I guess, it's not that easy with that twitchy handling, it has to be said. Now we see Oh, there was some little bumping there. I think David has lost it. He's lost it. And he's into the gravel trap. And he's dropped the position against Jazz. Oh dear, this was so unfortunate. He even loses the position against Matt. So, David, oh dear, you've lost a lot of ground here. Now we see Osborne. Ooh, some nice two-wheel drive here by Matt. So, yeah, not a good race, but David, unfortunately, looks like it. But next race will be in Brands Hatch, so maybe we will see some David action here as he loses the control of the car again. So this is a really tricky part. Now we see Matt doing the same thing, but he keeps it on the track eventually, but he still loses the position against David. Fantastic move there by Osborne, and he moves up a place. I think he's now 7th, I would say. Yeah, it must be 7th. So, yeah, not the race by David. And now we see the two guys here again. Mike Bell and Johannes Mehle still close here between these two. As we've seen so often this season, like in Donington, for example. So these two are really good here. And Lorenzo looks like he's disappeared in the horizon again. Ah, there he is. He's so little... Ah, there he was. So he's not fully disappeared, but yeah, he really looks like at the top of the class here. And he wants to, of course, pull away from Mike. There's still a championship going on between Mike and Lorenzo. And Mike makes a mistake there. Some nice little drifting in this part of the circuit. So, yeah, not really easy here to control in Nissan, it seems. As we see now Lorenzo lapping Pekka. So Pekka get lapped again. Yeah, nothing to do here. So Lorenzo goes by. And yeah, really easy. And now we move on to Mike and Johannes again. Mike once again coming a bit wide. There looked like it. But Pekka now now being lapped by both of them. So not really the race by Pekka, but I mean, yeah, as I said, the wheel drive is so impossible to control here perfectly in this circuit. Ooh, there's Sneef making a mistake. Or someone called him Michael Sheaf. So, some nice nicknames here this season. Oh, now we see Mike there approach the corner pretty aggressively. He's went wide, and this is the chance for minutes to go by eventually. Does he go for it? He does, and he takes second. No, he doesn't. Mike comes back. Fantastic stuff here between these two. I have to be honest here. Fantastic here, what we see today. And now we see Lorenzo Turri, yeah, taking the checkered flag here. He's past the final hairpin, and he comes across the start in the straight, and he takes the win in race number 1 here in Knockhill. Fantastic stuff by Lorenzo, and he takes a well-deserved victory for the team Mondeo. And Mike Bell takes 2nd, Johannes takes 3rd, and there we see Sneef, yeah, coming across the start in the straight to take 4th eventually. So once again, a solid result here by the Renault team, and they take a solid amount of points in the championship. So here we have the race results. Lorenzo Turri wins the race out of Mike Bell, Johannes Mehle in 3rd, Michael Sneef in 4th, Chris Simpton a unspectacular 5th, I have to be honest. So not many actions here. He only had some screen time in the beginning, but eventually he still takes the points eventually. So he finished in 5th ahead of Jazz, the rookie, and then Nissan. Now we look at the second half of the table. So David eventually finishes in a lonely 7th out of Matt, and Pekka, the only man getting lapped here in this race, finishes in 9th place. So Pekka will start from pole position race number 2, because you have to remind yourself, for race number 2, the results race number 1 gets reversed. So Pekka on pole, and he gets a flyer here, and he takes the lead. And it looks like Matt Matt isn't eventually here, so so Matt doesn't appear in race number 2 and race number 3. So Pekka takes the lead out of David now and Chris. So it will be interesting to see how this one fares with Pekka, the independent driver. And Mike has the best start of all time, because it seems like he started the race with a full rotation going to right. So, a fantastic fail there, I have to say. But yeah, he loses the position to Lorenzo. There you see it there. Look at it right here. Look at the steering lock. Yes, fantastic stuff. Oh man, I shouldn't be that mean, but this was so funny. Ah man, Mike. We did a beautiful job there. And now we see, yeah, Johannes had a good start eventually. He immediately passes his teammate. He's now alongside Jazz. Now we see Lorenzo passing Sneef. So, even Lorenzo now catches up to the rest of the grid here. And he looks like he's going for an immediate push to the top. And now we see Osborne attacking Packer. This is the chance for David to take the lead. And he does. So David Osborne takes the lead. Look at Chris Simpson here. He's also going for it. And now it looks like Packer's dropping positions over positions there quite easily now. We come to the start finish straight for lap number 2. Osborne ahead of... Look at that train here. This is fantastic to see. This must be fantastic for screenshots. Look at that. This looks so crazy there. And Packer, oh, he got a little bump here from Johannes. Oh, he's now losing positions over again. And there we see Mike. Oh, there we see Jazz eventually losing it. What happened? What happened to Jazz eventually? He seemed to have just lost too many positions there as he spun. Oh, this is fantastic here. I mean, fantastic stuff. Now we see Mike eventually passing Packer. Will Michael now eventually go for it? And he will, yes, and Packer now from first to second to last in in a whole lap eventually. So this is the benefit of having the independent car and an independent car called the BMW. So now we see, is this Jazz eventually? Yes, it is. And what happened eventually? Ooh, oof, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Can happen, but this is really unfortunate to happen there. You don't really like to have a spin like this. Yeah, and then he's now dropped to last. So not a good race, it seems like, for Jazz. Because we haven't got a safety car here, so he won't be able to catch up that easily. We'll now see from Lorenzo's point of view here. Oh, no, he loses the control eventually. This is not a replay, this is a live picture. And he's dropped the position against Mike and Michael. So the two M's has got past the L. So, yeah. And also we see Milster go for the dive against Quiz. Who will have the better acceleration? It looks like Quiz will hang around here. I think these two will go now side by side. Or will it? No, it doesn't. Quiz eventually had to yield. It looked like it for a moment that Quiz will hang on. But he didn't, sadly. And it means Johannes is up to second now. And now we see Lorenzo eventually passing Sneef again. But Michael gives him the space he needs, and Lorenzo is up a place. So Lorenzo needs to do comeback now to claim back the lead of the race. Now see, this is Mike now passing Chris. Does he try it around the outside, or does he do? Is he doing the switcheroo? Didn't really work out that properly. So Chris still ahead of Mike. Ooh, will now work out for a little dive bomb here. It will, and Mike is going for it, and he's past Quiz. And yeah, it seems like an easy position to gain positions there. As I've told you in the beginning, this is a fantastic spot for dive bombs. Now we see Lorenzo behind Quiz. Quiz makes a mistake, and Lorenzo is up a place again. So yeah, he does it pretty steadily here. And ooh, see David losing the back end a bit, and that's some aggressive defending here from David. Ooh, there. I mean, yes, he has to work for his team eventually to help Mike claim some needed points for the championship. And Mike is now alongside Melis. Will he eventually never go by Johannes? He does, and he tries it against David. 2-in-1s. Fantastic here from Mike. And yes, now Johannes needs to do something to claim back the position. Will he be alongside David now? It looks like it. Will he even go for it here for the first corner? And it looks like it, he does. Fantastic from Johannes. But here, David has to yield, because it's really risky to go for it if you are being attacked by someone else here, by a risky move here. So, yeah, Johannes claims back second, but now he's behind Mike. He needs to find time to eventually go by him now, and Sneef now makes a mistake. Ooh, yeah. This is not cool. Oh, now we see Lorenzo. He goes by David, and David once again with a mistake in this favorite spot. I think we should call it the Nissan spot eventually, because we see the David mostly going off-road there. So, and no, it's nothing personal, it's just for comedical reasons here. I pull up this bad jokes, I would say. So don't take it personally. And as we see Simpton and Sneef again fighting against each other, and looks like Michael doesn't find a way past, so he needs to hope for a miracle, or he needs to find a space. But Chris is doing a stellar job here right now, defending. Now we see Pekka being lapped again, and Mike Bell still taking the lead, but the three cars here, so Bell, Melis and Turri, now being a bit closer than before. So this is a three-way fight for the victory here. This is fantastic to see these three guys being bunched up together for the victory. And here we see Mike Bell again. Is it the final here? Yes, it's the final lap. And now we come across the start finish straight. It looks like Mike Bell is taking a much needed victory against Johannes Melis here, who finished in second, and Lorenzo in third, who will lose some points here eventually. And there is have you seen it? A flying Renault. Oh, the post-race shenanigans here. So it's everything as usual here, so nothing to worry about. This is what everyone is doing here after the race, so yeah, nothing to worry about. Mike Bell is taking the victory ahead of Johannes, as I said, and Lorenzo in third. So Mike Bell really needed that result here, eventually be on par with Lorenzo. David finished in fourth, so a solid race from David, even though he made some mistakes. Chris finished again in fifth, and Michael Sneef now finished in sixth, so yeah, he really couldn't do much of a comeback than his teammate did. Jazz Everett finished in seventh, and Pekka, the independent, finished in last. Again, yeah, let's say it was due to the BMW again. But now it's time for race number 3. So Pekka and Jazz in row 1. And it's time for it now. Race number 3 is underway. And Pekka once again with the perfect start here. Because of the rear-wheel drive there, it has to be said. And now he will take the lead into the first corners. And it looks like it's clean again here in the back. No big collisions there. Or no big mishaps, I should say. Everything looks clean here. And we look into the replays now. We look into Lorenzo Turri's view. Sneef has got a dreadful start here. So, not a good start there for Michael. And Lorenzo with a good start. He lunges inside David in the first corner. And it looks like Lorenzo's taking the spot here. And he does. Lorenzo takes the spot against David. So, he had a good start here. And looks like he's got a good opening lap here. He's already up to 4th. And now see it from Michael's view. A bit weird looking from a bit of angle view, but it is because of the elevation of the circuit. And yeah, now see Michael being passed by everyone. He's doing a cautious approach here into the first lap. And he's not currently last. But the race is long, so yeah. A lot of things can happen. Now we see Melis attacking David, because David once again makes a mistake there in the corner number 6, in the famous Nissan corner, or David Osborne corner I should call it. And Melis now is up a place, but David hasn't given up. Or does he? Or will he let Mike by eventually? Or Melis makes a mistake eventually. This will give David a chance. This will give Mike the chance to come back eventually. Oh, now we will see here a fantastic picture here again. And look at Turri there. He's also trying to go for some positions. And looks like Melis is still alongside Mike. No, now he has to yield. And now both Renaults are at the back. And now we see it from Lorenzo's point of view. How did he fare the whole situation there? It looks like it was close to Simpson. Now we see Pekka there, dropping some positions here, so sadly couldn't really couple, a leading lap here eventually, just like he did in Brands Hatch Indy. And looks like Lorenzo is currently in third. Yeah, he backs down from attacking Chris here. And he waits for a better opportunity, I would suppose. And he's doing that pretty cautiously, and he's doing that pretty good eventually. So this is a good tactic, I would say. And David once again making a mistake in that corner, and now he's even lost the position against Johannes Melis, and he's eventually now going by Pekka in his independent BMW. And yeah, that was an easy one, but yeah, let's say the independent car doesn't really have the material to fight against the works car. But if you're called Matt Neal and you're driving a Nissan Primera, it might be different here for you. And now we see Turri now in a fight, and he's stuck behind Mike and Chris. So Mike is doing a stellar job here. He's doing everything what he needs to do, and yeah, he really needs to get those points. And yeah, looks like a really nice championship fight in a way. And if everything keeps like this, then we will have some nice championship fights here, I would say. And I hope that in 1994 we will have a really, really close fight between most of the field, because we will have some success ballast, or success penalties, I should say. So maybe we will get some closer racing in general. So maybe we will see some more drivers fighting for the victory. And now Lorenzo's going by Quiz. So now the top guys are really establishing themselves. So Lorenzo's going by Quiz. And now we see Michael passing David there in his favorite spot. Now we see Giannis also attacking Quiz. Will he once again go for the dive there, as he did as often here in this race weekend? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. We go on board here for Melis now. And he comes from far back, and he goes for it, and it works. So fantastic job there by Johannes there, who really did it well. No collisions there, and no complaints afterwards. So a stellar job there by Johannes. And this is how you do a dive bomb, controlled and without a huge collision. And Jazz now letting Mike by. So good teamwork there by Nissan. And now Lorenzo's behind Jazz even. So yeah, he goes with there. Pretty good job there by Lorenzo. Jazz isn't defending. And yes, now we go into the onboard view of Chris Simpson. No, he makes a mistake. Oh dear. Yep, this cost him some positions there. I think he's now down to 7th eventually. And now we see Melis on board here. He's chasing Jazz. Is he going for the same move again as he did with Chris? He goes for it, but does it work? It looks close here between these two eventually, so it might not work out that perfectly this time. Nope, it doesn't. He has to stick behind Jazz now. So good job there by Jazz eventually by defending. And he's doing everything what he needs to do to keep him behind. And he's doing it really correctly there. Melis tries it again. And this time, yeah, he doesn't really get the corner right. So, yeah, bad job there by Johannes this time around. So he needs to find a better place to attack eventually, if he wants to get by Jazz. And maybe it's time now. We search for opportunity here. He's going for it. Oh, there's some bumping there. Oh, this might help Michael there. Oh, this... I think Jazz wasn't that amused. Let's say like that. That little bump there, yeah, wasn't that cool, I think, from his point of view. So, yeah. But there was no bad blood afterwards, so... it seems like everything is fine. And now David's doing a Spinalla here. And now you can see the Castro logo in a big way here. So a big sponsor time here for Nissan eventually. But David, yeah, won't be amused with this race weekend then. Many mistakes. And he's dropped some points. And now we see Mike Bell in the lead. And he makes a mistake. And Mike has dropped too many positions now. He's dropped back to third. And this will be a huge shocker for him in the championship. He could have used this race as a good opportunity to claim back some points. But no, he doesn't. Oh, Mike. This is so unfortunate here. And now we see David coming out of the pit lane and losing control of his car. So it seems like the fresh rubber wasn't that warm enough. Or he simply made a mistake. Then we see Chris Simpson now in his Toyota. Oh, he's approaching first corner. Oh, he's rolled! Oh! What happened? The car upside down is a Toyota. Oh. Whoa, what the hell? And Chris is out of the race. Because he's dropped even behind the barrier. Ah, what a shame for Chris. Oh, he will drop some points there. And we see Johannes eventually chasing Lorenzo here. So either Lorenzo's dropping back because he's saving his tires, or Johannes simply is currently quicker. So we might see a close battle in the finish. We see Pekka being lapped again. Now we see Lorenzo and Johannes being even closer together. And will it be a dive bomb here in the final corner? Or will it stick like this? We will see it. And Lorenzo's still in the lead. And yeah, we see Mike not being close enough, so he had no chance to come back. And no, it doesn't look like a dive bomb. Will it be a switcheroo? No, it won't be, because Mede simply has messed it up a bit. But Lorenzo will take a deserved victory here. And he takes the second win of the race weekend. Fantastic stuff in the end. But I could imagine one lap more and he would have caught Lorenzo then. I could have imagined that, but anyway, let's go to the race results. And Lorenzo Turri takes the race win out of Johannes Melis and out of Mike Bell, who finished the race ahead of Michael Sneef, Jazz Everett and Pekka Litalo. So Pekka once again in the first half of the page, and Jazz a solid performance here in his Nissan Castro racing car, and he even made some adverts from himself for a good defensive job here against Johannes Melis. So good job there by Jazz eventually, and David finished in 7th and last because Chris sadly retired with a big roll there, I would say. And it looks like he has killed some spectators as well, but it is just a game, so no one cares. So we look at the Drivers' Championship standings now, and once again I've messed it up making a screenshot of it. So we see Lorenzo in the lead out of Mike Bell, Michael Sneef in 3rd, Chris Simpson still in 4th, but Johannes has now closed down the gap he had after Pembury. So yeah, he will have some action here to do to eventually still claim 3rd. But this makes the whole championship now pretty interesting here. And the gap between Turri and Bell, yeah, it's, if my maths are correct, 16 points. So it'll be interesting for the upcoming races. And Nissan, yeah, they will dominate this Manufacturers' Championship. They're ahead of the Team Modeo. But Renault, I won't count them out because they could just catch up to Ford eventually. So this will be close. Toyota still in 4th with the sole entry of Chris Simpson, and Vauxhall still in 5th with Matt Hall having to do the job right now. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you do, then please stay tuned for more. And the next race will be in Brands Hatch GP. And until then, see you soon and have a good day.